Hello and welcome to the MetaSense Marketing Independent Sales Program, Training Program. I'm Manny Nowak and I'm excited to be with you today. Everybody tells us about the internet, don't they? One on our phones, one on our laptops, one on our desktops, one on our tablets. You know, if you're under 40, you're stuck on your phone, and if you're under 30, that sucker's really stuck on you, isn't it? 23 and a half hours a day, that phone is within the reach of the person. If people want anything, where do they go? They go to their phone. They go to the internet, and they go looking in some search mechanism. And the magic tool that gets them there is visibility. If you are visible, then they will find you and success will be there. Now, how do you get them to call you? That's always the first question, isn't it? How do I get someone to call me? How do I get someone to take action? That's what we have to look at. Let's look at that screen a minute. And I put that screen up there, and there are usually 3 paid and 3 free ads, or not free ads, really. They're just natural search. So you got 3 paid ads and 3 naturals. And which one are you? And if you're not on that page, how are people going to find you? That's what people do. And yes, sometimes people go to page 2 and sometimes they don't. But who are they going to select? And even once they select you, what's going to happen? How are you going to get them engaged? How are you going to make that happen? These are the questions that every prospect you have out there has. They know they need to be here. Just like years ago, and I worked with the Yellow Page company, Donnelly, out of Chicago. We did a lot of their automation work in the sales process. One of the things that we always asked was, how are they going to find you? Well, they go to the Yellow Pages, and you have a huge page. They find you. Well, it's not that way today, is it? There's not that one source. People go to the internet, and they could punch in any word they want. You know, if they're looking for plumbers, they're not necessarily going to punch in plumbers. They might say, help me with my water leak. And bang, you might come up. So that is the market out there. It's huge. It's growing every day. And then you have that whole group over here. Where are they looking? They're on Facebook. They're on Facebook all the time. They're on Instagram. They're on some other tool. They could be on LinkedIn, and they're looking there. That's the market that you should be excited about. That's the market that's out there. And that's where MetaSense Marketing is driving its prospects, its customers, to have success in those areas. So let's get started with the intro. I'm excited to have you new reps out there with us today, or maybe you're watching us again just to get pumped up a little bit and get moving. This is for independent sales reps. You may be just a regular sales rep, and I've asked you to watch this because it's some training that's going to help you. MetaSense Marketing, of course, we've been around. We have a lot of awards out there, but what we really take our greatest pride in is that we've had tremendous success with people. So our job is to make you successful. You as the rep for MetaSense Marketing, my job as the person who runs the sales process, Jatine's job as the CEO. If you're successful, then we're going to be successful. So this 1-hour initial training is going to run you through the whole process, and then you can watch any of the independent training. 4 hours of training on the products and how to sell them. And, you know, we're always available. We're here via video or direct to help you in any way we can. What we sell, let's take a look. First of all, we're doing SEO and PPC. And if you don't know exactly what those are, one is SEO, which is kind of an organic search, which when I talked about those ads that don't have the word AD next to them, that's that come up on page 1, 2, or 3 or whatever, their SEO. PPC are the ads that people actually pay for. Now, we also have this magical tool called iMetaDex, and Jatine Mehta, our CEO, has a patent now on this process, which can save people tremendous amounts of money on pay-per-click. So if you're out there working with somebody and they say, we have a lot of pay-per-click, what do we do with it? You basically tell them, look, we have a method that can help save you money. You should be working with us. But we'll talk more about that later. We do local search. A lot of your clients out there and companies you work with will work in a very tight geographic area. Perhaps they're a plumber, perhaps they're a pizza place. Who knows what they do, but their search is within 5 miles. And there are 70 plus search engines out there, and it's very critical that in every search engine you look the same. You have the same words out there, the same address, the same phone number. And we have a great little tool. It's kind of a door opener that allows you to get in that says, hey, and we have this test we can run and say, hey, we've searched you, and in 82% of the cases, your address is wrong. And then so we work with them. It's a very interesting tool. It's sold by location, so you can actually make money. If you have a company that has massive amounts of locations, they have to buy this for every location. Facebook advertising, probably the hottest thing out there today is Facebook advertising. It is growing, it is developing, it is building, and it is there for you to use. And social media marketing, getting people's profiles correct, getting people visibility, getting people to see what's going on, all that, very critical. Email marketing, a lot of people doing it themselves, no consistency, and we all know that that's very important. Email marketing lists, so critical to the process. Is your list any good? Size does not matter. I know people with lists under $1,000 that are generating 6 figures off those lists, and other people with 6-figure lists that are generating nothing. So we work in that area. Mobile apps, we have a whole process. If you have a customer that wants to build their own mobile app, we are very good at it. We also have some generic mobile apps in the dentistry, restaurant, and a couple other areas that are already there, and it's a generic type app, they just buy in. Web design always comes up, but remember, we are selling digital strategy above everything else. We are going to come in first and find out what is best for you. What is the best tool? And then we'll work these. Many times it does take web design, redesign, but as we work with a lot of clients, one of the things we want to do is we want you to work with SEO PPC as the major tool. So what I want you to do is I want you to use web design as a secondary thing. Hey, we can get your existing website, unless it's really bad, working, and then we'll redevelop the site. And of course, we help you with content, which is king in the internet. We use a CRM tool called Infusionsoft, which you're going to have access to. All leads will come through this product. You need to sign on. You need to use the tutorial to learn the system. So once you're in, once you go through this training, we'll send you a sign-on. You'll get on, and you'll start using it. You need to update all activity on leads. When you're working a customer, we need to see what's going on because we have a lot of automated processes that work for you in the background. We add all proposals to the system because we want everything together. So when you do a proposal, we'll put it in there. Forms are going to be in the system. The system will alert you with automatic leads. Like we get leads in all the time through the website, through Facebook advertising. 15 minutes, we try to get them out. If you're on, you'll get that lead and you'll get an opportunity to work it right away. That's what we call quick leads. You have a training manual, or you should have it by now. Please spend some time going through there. What you hear today is going to back up the stuff that's in the manual. And my phone is on 24/7, so call me. Lead generation. We use our own process because this is what we do. We use some other things as well, but we use our own SEO. We have a PPC program out there. We have Facebook advertising. We do a massive email campaign. We do social media marketing, including blogs and all those things. And we also have cold calling lists. And anyone out there who likes to get on the phone and call, we can help you out there with some cold calling lists as well. But we know that most of you aren't going to work in that area. You'll like to work the warmer stuff, but you never know. Your leads, if you've got your own stuff and you want to track it in our system, you're welcome to put it in there and tell us, I want you to do the email marketing campaign. Perhaps you have, a list. You've been thinking that these are great people for this. Can you do some email marketing? Let's see what we get. Yes, we can. Because remember, we're here to help you. Sales lead working process, 60 leads. And we're still playing with this number, somewhere between 40 and 100. How many you have at one time if you want leads? Now, I know some of you out there are going to work your own base and you aren't really looking for leads. Or perhaps you'll work your own base and you want some leads, but you're not willing to work with that high a number. We can do that for you as well. We want you to work them as they go cold. We'll give you more. But in today's world, you've got to connect with people. And we say it takes on the phone 7 to 12 attempts before I consider something cold. Get a hold of the person. Get a chance to talk to the person. Keep going after them. I like the technique of I called them 4 times today, and maybe I left a voicemail at the end. I tried 4 times tomorrow again, and then I tried 4 times later in the week, and I still didn't get them. Well, I'm not going to get them. Let me move on to something like that. Inbound leads. Again, we assign them round robin depending on who's available and who's on. You tell us what hours you can take leads, and as we come in hot, inbound stuff, we work them to you. The only thing we ask is you tell us when you're working and if you're not working, because we really want these things worked just about. Connect with the lead. That's what your objective is. What's the objective? You need to connect with the lead. You need to get at least 15 minutes to talk to them about digital marketing, either right now or try to schedule them within 24 hours. But you know how hard it is to get someone on the phone. Now, some of you may actually be doing walk around. Some of you may actually be scheduling appointments with people you're selling other stuff to. That's okay. But you need 15 to 30 minutes. And one of the things I always teach people is 15 minutes. If the conversation keeps going, stop and very simply say, look, I said I needed 15 minutes. Looks like we're deeper here. Do you want us to keep going, or do we need to reschedule? If they're into what you're doing, you're going to keep going. You need to get a proposal out to them over the phone within 4 hours. This is the best way to do this. Now, is it usually 4 hours? No, it's usually within 24 hours and sometimes 48. But we put 4 hours there because sometimes people are hot. Let's sell them. And sometimes their solution is very simple. They want some Facebook advertising. They want to spend $2,000. Let's go with it. Close the deal. We have a lot of questions in your manual for you to use to get more information. And these are just some of them, and I want to go through them a minute just so you understand. Is digital marketing something you've used in the past? If it is, maybe you haven't had a good experience. A lot of our business comes from people who have had a bad experience. How do you think you come up in a search? What words work for you? How do people find you? And then actually you can sometimes get right on and let's do a search. Let's see, especially if you're sitting down with the person or you're doing a video like we're doing here. Let's get on, let's see what happens here and see where you come up. What would people search on to find you? Have you ever got business from the internet? People have websites for 10, 15 years now, and they never got a solid lead from the internet. Why not? What are you not doing? What can we help you to do? would be getting business from the internet interest you? If the answer is no, then we're probably talking to the wrong person. One of the things I want to reemphasize is, quickly as possible, you need to qualify that these people are interested in buying. If not, let the technology, let our system take care of them, stay in front of them, educate them. I don't want you doing that. I want you working people who are ready to move forward. Yeah, we're moving fast here because that's the way we operate. Research the business. I always tell people, take a look before you call, get to know a little bit about them, because a lot of times if you don't do that, you could get hit in the head with like, well, have you really looked at my website? Oh, no. Get them involved in the conversation. And you all are professional salespeople, so you know in the first 30 seconds, I want the conversation to go over to them, and I want to start listening. I want to ask the questions and let them talk. I want them to take ownership of this conversation. All this, 15 to 30 minutes. And the reason is because we're working with people who are interested. What you are trying to sell them is that MetaSense Marketing, this powerful, energetic team, stands behind you, and they're ready to help them through this process. You should have all the data you need to put the proposal together once you're done with the conversation. And the great thing is, if you look in the manual, we've actually laid the proposal out with questions in it, so that when you're done, and if you put the answers right on your laptop, bang, all you have to do is reformat them and you're in business. Success proposal. Very easy, simple to put together. Add the client logo. And if you need some help, we got people here who can help you. It's really neat. Sometimes you can't get it, but it's really neat if you put on the front of the proposal, bang, this is ABC company, and they see themselves, because again, they want to see themselves. And we're actually working through some stuff right now, so we're going to put their logo on every page of a proposal just so it looks better. There's a general paragraph where you just talk about, hey, it was great talking to you on the phone, that kind of stuff. And again, I say use the proposal outline during your time of putting this together. Some more questions. How many leads do you get from the internet a month? This is a great question. Most people say none, or the answer usually is, I don't know. What problem do you solve for your client? What is it that you do for your client? That's one of the most important things you can find out, because that's what's going to drive a lot of the SEO we do. Ask them what kind of lead gen they use outside of what we're showing them. Are they using any of this? Because again, this is where budget and dollars come from. If they're using some of these and they are not successful, we could take that money, move it over to a digital program. They wouldn't be spending any more money, but they would get greater results. And the way you sell that is we measure. Traditional advertising, how do you measure whether somebody saw your ad in the newspaper? How do you measure whether somebody you met at a networking event called you because you met them or for some other reason? How do you measure that? Digitally, we measure everything. And one of the things we do is on a monthly basis, we talk with each client that you sold and we review what has happened. So we're right there making sure the program works. More questions. And I spend a lot of time on these questions because I want you to get familiar with them. I want them to come out of your mouth naturally. And I want you to understand when the person says something, what they're saying, and how you can sell based on that question. How's your process working? Is it working? What is working best for you at this point? Well, I got a lot of work from the billboard. How do you know? Or when I run an ad, I get this. Or I've done some Facebook, it's successful, but I don't know how to crank it up. I don't know how to take it to the next level. How much are you spending on all your marketing today? And let me tell you, if you're dealing with a small to mid-sized company, many times they don't know this answer. So help walk them through. Well, tell me some of the things you're doing, and let's see how much you're spending. And all of a sudden they find, oh, I'm spending $10,000 a month. I guess a $3,000 to $5,000 deal with you guys is nothing. And that's really what we're trying to sell, is a complete solution here for between $3,000 and $5,000 that has some SEO, email, Facebook, the whole realm, and helping them to generate more business. What's the value of a customer to you? The value when you sell, the lifetime value of a customer. I want them to look at this because the lifetime value of a customer defines how much I'm going to spend or how much I can put out there to make that happen. What's your gross margin? We look for people with high margins and high dollars because they are the easier ones to convert. It's very hard to sell a pizza shop. It's not as hard to sell a plumber because sometimes they're selling $15,000 installations of new equipment. How much would you spend to get a new customer? Get a feel. Let's see, how much would they really be willing to spend? What's an average sale? How much is your normal sale? And if they're dealing with 2 or 3 different lines, let's find out what the average sale is in each one. One of the things we like to do is we put together a program for them quarterly. This quarter we address this, next quarter that, next quarter that. And again, now you're talking to them in the long term. Because remember, you as an independent sales rep, one of the things that really works for you here is this is longevity in the process and selling it once for $3,000 to $5,000 and getting 12 months out of that. Wow, look at that commission, right? And we all want to make money. How many sales do you typically bring in a month? Again, it's a measurement so we can understand whether we're being successful with the program. And again, how much profit. The higher the profit, the better the shot for us. Each product will be discussed later and questions to ask on each one of them so as we give you that detail. Now, closing questions. There are certain questions I want you to use to try to close a deal. How do you track the results of your marketing? That's so critical because most people don't. When there's business coming in, they're happy and they're just rolling along and they don't care. And then when they're done, they say, I don't remember. Do you track where leads come from? And I was interested. I had a prospect in here yesterday, and it was so interesting because that prospect said to me, I ask every new customer, where'd you come from? And every prospect, how'd you find us? And I thought, that's great because that's what I want everybody out there to do. So you can see what's working. What's your best source of leads? Is it advertising? Is it networking? What is it? Ask the question. What's your timetable for getting this working? Are they ready to go? Are they fishing? What are they doing? You got to find that out, and you all are very professional salespeople out there, so I know you know that. Now, once you get to this point, you are ready to put together a proposal for them. Now, you have all the data. But before you end, let's get a few answers here. Determine if this is worth putting a proposal together, because I don't want you to waste your time, my time, or our support team's time on something that you know, and you are all professionals, so you have a great feel for whether this thing will sell. No sense in doing a proposal if they're not interested. Don't be afraid to ask the question. I ask it all the time. Do these numbers scare you? Put the $3,000 to $5,000 number out there. Get them to understand this is not a $200 solution. And if it scares them and if it backs them up, try to bring them back. But if they're not coming back, let's move on. Determine who the decision maker is. So many times we get sucked into the wrong person, and now we got to go represent the whole thing, because I don't want somebody else selling digital marketing because they don't know what they're talking about. Next time we meet, we have to have the decision maker in the room. Don't be afraid to walk away if you can't get that, because you're not going to sell to somebody who can't make a decision. What's the best way to connect with them? How do I get back to you? This is so critical for all of you. Understand, what's the best way to connect? Is it text? Is it email? Is it phone? Is it cell phone? Is it office phone? Is it through your secretary? What is it? So I know how to get a hold of it. Schedule the next meeting right then and there. When are we going to get together to go over this? I'm not sending you the proposal. Now, I say that and still sometimes I end up sending it, but not if I don't have to. Push it hard. Get the next meeting in 24 or 48 hours is the best time. I don't want you to send a proposal. I want you to walk them through the proposal. I want you to send it just as you're getting ready to have your meeting. If you need help, just ask. That's what we're here for. And we are actually putting together a process so we can do those proposals online. So now you'll be able to walk them through page by page. They won't be able to page forward and backward and all that stuff. And at the end, you'll send them the physical document. We do not want the customer to wait. If they're ready to go, we want them to go. 1 or 2 days, let's get the deal closed. This is not a long-term selling. The technology we have will do the long-term sales if need be. Ask if anything else they want to know, and then say, thank you. And again, they may ask you just to send it. Let's try not to go there. And then, of course, the proposal has a wrap-up paragraph where you just put in there whatever. You're all professionals, so whatever feels best for you. Review the proposal with the client, close the deal. Send it a few minutes before the call. And again, as I said, we're going to be able to do this live shortly. Some clients will give you a hard time. Send it to me first. Great way a lot of times to understand, am I dealing with the right player or not? Walk them through the proposal. Remember, you're selling benefits, not features. What is it? What is the benefit of this product? More business stuff, more ROI. You're investing your marketing dollars to make more money. Walk them through benefits and timetable. Don't rush through the pain. I always say, let them stay in the pain. Your sales are down. Your website is terrible. It's not picking up any traffic. You're not getting any leads. Your salespeople don't have anything to do. They're not closing any business. Let them feel that. Let them get it. Let it get inside of them. Don't rush through the pain. Let them absorb the pain. This is an area that I encourage you highly to spend time in. Again, benefits, not features. Don't read the proposal, please. Don't read the proposal. Be nice and soft. Closing, ask the questions. Let them think. Be quiet. And again, you all are professional salespeople, but I never know what level we're working at sometimes. So I want you to understand, silence is golden. If you speak first, you lose the deal. Make sure they understand. Make sure they understand everything that's out there. Push, but soft. Push, but softly. We're not selling used cars. We're selling digital success. And so it's soft. And then again, the great thing with these proposals is right then you can make the change in the proposal. They say, well, I don't want this, or can we spend more here, whatever. And then send it to them and get a signature on the proposal. If you can't close, all right, find out why. And when and how you can reconnect with them. How do we get back together? Do I call you next week? Do I call you tomorrow? Can I call you this afternoon? Get the date set. What's holding the decision? You know, you don't have a deal right now. Stop thinking it might happen. It's going to happen if you work it, ask the question, and schedule that next meeting. It's critical because if you don't do this, you may never get a hold of them again, which means they're not a buyer, but I don't want you chasing them if they're not interested. Then what we do is we actually put a physical contract together. It's a simple 2-page thing. You need to get them to sign. You send that to them, and you need a deposit. And usually what we like is the first or the first and second month's fees up front. The way our billing process works is we bill always at the beginning of the month for the following month, and we give them 30 days to pay. Once they sign the proposal, get them a contract. Now, the contract may have to be reviewed. This is where we run into a slowdown, but we don't work until we get a signed contract and a check. We've learned over the years that, you know, we want to get started. We want to run, but we got burned. So don't do it. It's a key point. Get a contract, get a payment with a credit card or the check. We don't do refunds. And what that means really is we don't refund you for the month because we do a lot of upfront work. In other words, if you're signing a 6-month contract, we're probably front loading the first 2 months with 80% of the work. That's just the way this business works. No contract less than 6 months. We really don't want anything less. Sometimes we squeeze it 3 months if it's something very specific, but you need time to get the process rolling, and preferably we'd look for you to do a year. Hand it over to MetaSense, and we do the work. Now, compensation and payments, just I know this is real critical for you all out there, as it is for me. You get paid on the 15th and the last day of the month. And this is how we pay. Everything that we've gotten in from your client by the 10th of the month, we pay you on the 15th. Everything we receive by the 25th, we pay you on the last day of the month. That's how it works. So it's encouraging you get upfront money and then you get paid. So if you have a 2-month contract and you get the money in by the 10th, on the 15th, you will receive your commission. Now, because it's recording, I can't take any questions right now, but I know you probably have a lot of questions. So get a hold of me. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk through your questions one-on-one. Let's work you through them. Now, also note that we are putting into place a Friday meeting where we're going to do some group stuff. Glad to have been here with you. I hope this has been helpful for you. Next, I want you to start going through each individual piece, and we'll go from there. This is Manny Nowak, MetaSense Marketing. Glad to have you aboard, and look forward to making this work.